We are 3 days away from Monday, April 15th, at least as I record this video. Monday has particular significance because not only is it tax day, it's also the Boston Marathon, which I qualified for by 13 seconds back in the year 2000. Unfortunately, that ship has sailed as I now get tired before the end of the driveway. And it's a short driveway. Oh well, at least I have next year's taxes to look forward to and helping people like you save money in retirement, which is really important to me. The reason it's important to me is because when you get to retirement, you only have so much money, and it's essential to maximize your financial resources so that you can maintain and, more importantly, thrive in a comfortable lifestyle. So today, I have 10 strategic ways to minimize your tax burden during, hopefully, your golden years. So here's the first and probably the most important strategy item. Strategic withdrawal plan. Plan your withdrawals carefully from taxable accounts, tax-deferred accounts like traditional IRAs and 401ks, and tax-free accounts like Roth IRAs. By balancing your withdrawals, you can manage your taxable income to stay within lower tax bracket. Okay, so this is important. So we're going to take a few seconds on this one. All of your investments can be allocated to 3 different investment buckets based upon the way they're taxed. There's bucket number 1, which is your taxable bucket, meaning you get a 1099 on the growth in that account at the end of the year. There's the tax deferred bucket, like IRAs, 401ks, accounts that you have yet to pay any tax. And there's bucket number 3, which generally has Roth accounts and life insurance policies that are structured the right way. You may be interested to know that there's a mathematically ideal amount of money to have in each bucket to reduce your taxes. I've done a ton of videos on this concept. I'll put some descriptions below. However, at the end of the day, the order with which you draw down your assets in retirement really matters. Let's talk about our second item, which is Roth Conversions, because a Roth conversion is a way to get money into that Roth environment. I want you to consider putting portions of your traditional IRA into a Roth in years where your income is lower. This is a conversion. This move can help you manage future taxes, especially before you start required minimum distributions, which is technically at age 75 if you were born after 1960. Like the prior subject, I have all kinds of videos on Roth conversions. I'll put links in the description. I even recently did one about a man in his 70s, a client who called to ask if it made sense for him to do Roth conversions at that stage in life. My short answer? Yes and no. If that doesn't leave you wanting more, I don't know what to do. All right, number 3, delaying Social Security. If you delay your Social Security benefits until age 70, I know that's controversial, you can not only increase the monthly benefit amount, but it can help you manage your tax liabilities if you have other income sources earlier on that keep you in a higher tax bracket. Yes, many people don't know that Social Security is actually taxed up to possibly 85% of that total benefit, depending on how much money you make. So it stands to reason if you're working part-time or you're doing little consulting gigs on the side, as you ease into retirement, you may have some additional income that affects that Social Security claiming decision. Number 1 is that I want you to remember that if you're working before full retirement age, in many cases, the Social Security Administration, they don't see you as being retired. So what they're going to do is they're going to recalculate your benefit. They're going to modify that benefit during those years. So that's something I want you to consider. The second nugget is that I feel like so much consideration is placed on when to claim. Yes, it's an important decision when you're going to claim, but it's not the end of the world. I like to say this, and I don't know if people like hearing it, but we are not algorithms. We are not spreadsheets. We are people. We have feelings, we have needs, and sometimes we just want to feel comfortable. Our next suggestion is to invest in municipal bonds. Income from municipal bonds is generally exempt from federal income taxes and possibly state taxes if you reside in the state where the bond is issued. This can provide you with a source of tax-free income. I feel the need to point out one quick clarification on these bonds. This last point, where you have to reside in the state where the bond is issued for it to be deductible on your state taxes, this is often overlooked. It's not likely to be a huge amount, but it is something to consider. The next thing I want you to think about is your standard deduction or whether you're going to itemize. We need to be strategic about whether to take the standard deduction or to itemize deductions each year based on your expenses such as medical costs and other various factors which tend to be higher in retirement. The truth is I hesitated before using this suggestion as one of my ways for you to save taxes in retirement. And the reason is because the laws are a little bit different from where they were before 2017. Remember that Tax Act passed in 2017. It used to be that itemizing deductions was a big thing, not so much now because standard deduction is much higher. However, that whole thing is supposed to go back to the way it was in 2026. We'll see what happens. So for now, maybe not so much to talk about, but in the future, if things are not resolved at the congressional level, they usually aren't, this will be an incredible way to save money on taxes in retirement. Here's my next suggestion: managing investment taxes. I want you to focus on holding investments for over a year before selling to benefit from lower long-term capital gains rates. Also, consider the use of tax-efficient funds or exchange-traded funds that typically generate fewer taxable distributions. It's not my first suggestion to be a buyer and seller when you're in retirement, be a bit of a player. I know that some people like to have a little side account where they can invest in the companies, the technologies, and the industries they believe in. I'm not sure how effective that is, but if you do buy and sell, focus on holding the investments for at least 1 year, especially if you make money. The capital gains will be more forgiving. Next, I'd like to turn our attention to gifting to family or charities. Gifting money to family or donating to a charity can reduce your taxable estate and provide income tax benefits. Consider using strategies like gifting appreciated stocks or making qualified charitable distributions, or OCDs, from your IRA. I have multiple clients that do this every year. One couple I'm thinking about right now, some of their donation goes to the local church, the rest of it goes to the food pantry in their neighborhood. They are religious about this year after year. Yes, we realize charity should come from the heart, but if we save a little bit of tax in the process, that's probably a good thing. Remember the part about buying and selling? The next thing is harvesting tax losses. If you have investments in taxable accounts that have lost value, consider selling them to realize the losses that can offset any gains and reduce your taxable income. I know nobody likes to sell and realize a loss, obviously. Hopefully you have more winners than losers, and you might as well take advantage of the fact that the IRS allows you to offset some of your losses against your gains. That's outside the scope of this video, so check with your tax advisor to make sure you're doing it right. Also, don't sell something to realize a loss and buy the exact same thing back. That's against the law. The next thing is HSAs, or health savings accounts. These things are awesome. So if you have an HSA eligible health insurance plan, which means you're high deductible, contribute to an HSA. The contributions are tax deductible, the growth is tax free, and withdrawals for qualified medical expenses are also tax free. One additional point on this is that the money that's in the HSA, it should be invested. It's interesting. In 2011, only 2% of the funds invested in HSAs were actually invested. Now it's up to about 13%, which is great, but it's still not enough. This money can really help you in retirement. As we discussed in the section on creating strategic withdrawals, the more buckets of tax-free income possibilities you have, the more flexibility you'll have to stay in the lowest possible tax bracket. That's certainly what you want. And our last item is to utilize senior tax breaks. Many states offer additional tax breaks for seniors, including higher standard deductions, exemptions on Social Security benefits, and lower property taxes. Be sure to review and claim these benefits where applicable. I know that here in the high-tax state of Illinois, there are property tax rebates, there's homestead exemptions, there's real estate tax deferrals, all kinds of stuff. Keep in mind that some of the more mainstream items for seniors, like standard deductions that are enhanced, if you will, they'll be picked up by either your tax preparer or by the software you use, because that stuff's more automatic. If you want to know the plethora of tax breaks available, Google your state and you'll find a lot of really cool stuff. So there you have it. I hope you're using many, 5, 6, 7 of these items. A word of caution: each of the strategies has nuances, and it must be tailored for your unique financial situation. Talk with a tax advisor, talk to a financial advisor, somebody even like me. My contact information is below if you need help. I'm happy to answer any of your questions. Put them in the comments, and make sure that you're navigating with some help to understand the unique complexities of your tax planning situation in retirement. Thanks for watching.